Hello, what's going on? Welcome back to another episode of Level Up with Gal. I'm your host, Gal Perino, where we're going to dive in and talk all good stuff about personal development, gratitude, tips, and tricks, and life journeys, and paths, and experiences all together in every freaking episode. Thank you so much for returning. If you are coming back, welcome. If you are brand new, I appreciate you so much. Wherever you are in your journey, give yourself freaking kudos because you're here right now. And if you're here right now, that means you want to improve your life and you want to level up in your freaking life. So today I want to dive in and talk about let's acknowledge our mistakes, our learning lessons, and how we can grow from them. A lot of times we get into this whole thing of like, oh, okay, yep, I made a mistake, and just focus on the positive, and let's just focus on that only, and then we move forward. Pump the brakes for 1 second. Let's focus on what the mistake was, how we can learn from it, and what we're going to do the next time so we don't make that same mistake. That doesn't mean that you won't make mistakes again. It's going to happen, right? That's how we continue to level up and grow, and individually, as a person, whether on a team, whatever the atmosphere. But if we don't take a second to acknowledge, hey, this is actually where I went wrong. Hey, this is actually where I need to work on a little bit more. Then we're going to continue to make that same mistake, even if it's in our awareness. Are going to continue to make that same mistake if we don't acknowledge it and we don't talk about it and come up with the action plan of how we're going to catch it the next time, or how we're going to know how to fix it, or add another step within our process. So that way we are like, okay, we're going to catch it and it doesn't happen in the same way. For example, right? Like maybe every time you've done a certain routine, you're like, oh my gosh, I keep making the same mistake. Right? So let me use a real life example. So at one of my previous jobs, I was like, okay, you know what? Like I've done payroll for so many years. It's fine. Like we're going to go through the steps, right? It becomes like second nature of something that you're doing. But we made a mistake where we overpaid someone, right? Which is not good. And we're like, oh no, right? But it kept happening. So we acknowledged that we made a mistake, but the problem was we didn't actually slow down and be like, how do we stop making this mistake, right? Because then people are getting upset because you don't want to mess when he wants money. So finally, we're like, okay, we need to take a step back, slow down, and like, how do we fix what's happening? Is it the system? Is it our internal process? Do we need to add another step to our process? So it was actually all of the above. It was like how the system was set up. We said there's some stuff we needed to change, and our own internal process of doing our double check and balances and all that before we would close a payroll kind of thing. But my point is, because we never actually stopped to be like, oh my gosh, we made this mistake. How can we do better? We kept making that same mistake. So even in your own life, if you don't stop and like acknowledge the mistake that you made or mistakes, you're going to naturally fall into those same habits and make that same decision again and again and again. So acknowledge when you've done something wrong and set the ego aside for a second, right? You're not less of a person if you're like, you know what, I made a mistake. You're actually helping yourself so much more, and you're how to put this into words. So I'm like, tongue twister here. But you're actually allowing yourself to grow even more by acknowledging, hey, I made this mistake, own up to it, all right? It's so much easier to be like, oh, she did it, he did it. No. If you made the mistake, acknowledge it so you know where you're at and what happened. And if you're not even sure what happened, ask somebody like, hey, this is my situation. Or if you're on a team, hey, what did I do wrong? How can I do this better? Be open-minded to suggestions and advice from others, but also ask for it. And when you do receive it, keep an open mind of receiving advice, whether it's mistakes or not mistakes. Maybe you just want to level up too. Which is an awesome thing. Be open-minded to receiving. It doesn't mean you have to, like, if someone's giving you life advice, it doesn't mean you have to follow through on that, but be open-minded to their opinion, and be careful who you're asking that advice from, like, and we can go down a whole rabbit hole of that. But whoever you're receiving it from, a coach, mentor, friend, significant other, therapist, whatever, be open-minded to receiving. Because if you're already closed-minded and you don't want to receive that advice or that suggestion, you're automatically going to be on the defense. Like, nope, get out of here. Like, I know better. But there's always room for growth, and there's always room for us to learn from each other. Like, we all come from different backgrounds, and we all have different knowledges. Like, we can, it's like the whole saying, like you can get to the same destination, right? But many ways, there's so many roads and paths and wherever way you want to go. Right? It doesn't, one way isn't better than the other or the right or wrong. It's just which path is the best for you, right? You can relate that to anything, your career, your relationships. What path is the best for you? Maybe one relationship, they love to spend 24/7 together. Maybe in your relationship, you don't, right? So it's about what path is right for you. But knowledge, any areas in your life that maybe hasn't gone exactly according to plan or the way you wanted to, or you thought it was going well, and then you learned a big lesson from it. So the message in this episode is for you to slow down a minute, be willing to acknowledge your mistakes, learn from those, right? And come up with solutions of how you're going to be better the next time, the better for yourself, for others, and how you're going to show up better, right? And it's okay to make mistakes. Like, acknowledge that too. Like, these are all learning opportunities, and nothing is really truly a mistake. Think about it, because if you didn't actually maybe veer off a little bit, you wouldn't have had the aha moment of like, oh my gosh, I should have double checked that, or oh my gosh, I should have looped in a team member, or oh my gosh, I should have asked my significant other or my friend their advice, but I was so stuck on I can do it by myself, right? I've been there so many times where I'm like, I got it, I'm so determined, I can do it by myself, and it ends up hurting me in the long run. Same goes for you. So asking for help, asking for advice, acknowledging where have you've been, your learning opportunities, your mistakes. It's just all growth. Write them down. Even right now, write down like what did you do last year that you learned from that turned into big learning opportunities? And then what did you take from it, right? Whether it was solutions you took from it, life lessons. Write that down and acknowledge that. Have that on paper so you can see, man, yep, I've been through a lot of crap and I'm still here kicking, and I'm going to continue to level up in my life. And when it's on paper, you see it, you acknowledge it, soak it in, give yourself kudos for all the stuff you've been through and your learning opportunities, and then continue to do it every single day. And be vocal about how you feel, what direction you want to go in your life and why it's important to you, and what new opportunities do you want to take. So embrace it all. So I hope you found this episode helpful, and start jotting down all this stuff even this week, of any new learning opportunities that have come up, anything that maybe you thought was the right way and then it wasn't, and then you learn like, oh crap, here's a big learning opportunity for me and I can continue leveling up in my life. So hope you found this episode helpful. I love you so much. Continue to level up in your life. Own the good stuff, the bad stuff, and learn every single day where you're at and how you can continue to show up for yourself. And never forget how worthy you are and how freaking smart you are. Keep shining bright, and I'll catch you in the next episode. If you want to learn more about me, you want to work together, check out my website, www.galparaino.com, and follow me on social media. I appreciate you so much. Share this episode if you found it helpful, your friends, family, anyone that you feel called to share it with, and I will see you